The following excerpt is from Chapter 5 of the book NieR Automata, Long Story Short.
This video will contain spoilers for Route A of the game and 2B section of the book.
If you would like to avoid spoilers, watch this video after completing Route A or reading Chapter 5. Otherwise, enjoy the video. Glory to mankind. 9S had landed in the crater zone. If one were to walk from the city ruins to the flooded city, it would take quite a bit of time. One would have to take a detour around the collapsed buildings and shattered roads. But in terms of distance, the two locations were not that far apart. Had 9S been blown away by the explosion, it wasn't impossible for him to have landed in that area.
Report. 9S's black box response detected.
Pod's scanner was giving feedback. What's his current location?
Answer. Underground cave.
Underground cave. The one with the alien ship?
Affirmative.
The underground cave had been discovered because part of the city ruins had caved in. The location of impact was in fact the crater zone, so it wasn't impossible for 9S to have landed in the cave. But let's go. She descended on a ladder, extending from the edge of the hole to its depths. Occasionally, she looked around at the walls or cavities in the hole to see if she could find some trace of 9S. Unfortunately, she wasn't able to find a piece of clothing or item of 9S's, let alone the man himself. The bottom of the hole was still flooded with water, resulting in bad footing. 9S wasn't here either. 2B raised her gaze. The hole was considerably deep. Without the help of Pod's gliding mechanism, a leap down would certainly lead to injury. Even still, 9S had not jumped down from the top of the hole, but had been flung there by the explosion. He would have slammed into the ground at the bottom of the hole. It was unlikely that he would have gotten up right away, or was in any condition to move at ease. So why wasn't he here?
Report. The source of the black box response is coming from beyond the underground passageway.
Beyond the passageway. From the bottom of the hole, there were two side tunnels running in different directions. One tunnel led to a dead end, and the other to the alien ship. If Pod had said beyond the passageway, it was probably referring to the latter. She knew this was a red flag. If 9S were, by some miracle, able to walk, why would he walk through the passageway? Making Pod shine its light, she entered the tunnel. When she tried to follow the same route as last time, Pod stopped her.
Report. The source of the black box response is coming from the right.
Right. Not from the alien ship.
Affirmative. While weak, the black box response is coming from a different location from before.
She took a right at the fork. He came this far. Something was definitely wrong. Why would he take an unfamiliar route? And if he was able to walk this much, it should have been possible for him to climb the ladder out of the hole. At the end of the passageway was an elevator. At this point, it was undeniable. There was only one conclusion.
Warning. Possibility of a trap.
I don't care. 2B pressed the elevator button. There was no panel that showed which floor she was traveling to, but she felt the elevator move down. It was even farther beneath the underground cave, so it was at quite a depth. No wonder the scanner hadn't been able to determine an accurate location. The elevator shook erratically for a while, and eventually came to a stop. The doors opened with an obnoxious rattle. Bright light pierced her eyes. What is this place? 2B squinted and looked around. Everything was white. Since her eyes had acclimatized to the darkness, it was painfully bright.
Analysis. Structures made from crystallized silicone and carbon. There was not enough data to provide further details.
Staring long enough, she could make out a cityscape stretching onward. But there was no color. There were rows of buildings with white walls and gray windowsills, casting pronounced shadows on the white street. They must have been colorless, because they were all apparently made out of crystallized silicon and carbon. Who would make an underground city like this? Pod answered with an unknown. Ironically, it was a good answer. If Pod couldn't answer the question, it meant that androids weren't responsible. Unlike the buildings above ground, these buildings didn't look weathered in the least. Then they were probably new, putting aliens out of the question. Then there was only one answer. The machines.
Report. 9S's black box response detected.
She cautiously moved in the direction that Pod pointed in. No amount of caution was too much. She wasn't an enemy facility after all. But her guarded gait did not last long. She started to run without thinking. Some black had appeared amidst the white. It was the color of the Yorha uniform. Not just in one place, but in many.
Why are there corpses?
Deduction. They were left intentionally by the enemy.
The underground cave had not been discovered before the city ruins caved in. Since the incident was still treated as confidential, no information had been shared within the squadron. In regard to the White City, even 2B had not known about it, so it was unlikely that the other squadron troopers invaded of their own will. In other words, they were kidnapped by the machines and brought here. It was unclear when they were killed. She realized that she had started to sprint. She had to save 9S as soon as possible, while his black box response was still active. She heard 9S's voice in her head, and felt the excruciating pain when he had said those words as well.
Alert. 2B's mental state is deteriorating. Recommended action to avoid further deterioration is to find 9S as soon as possible.
How old was his backup at the bunker? If this chassis were to be destroyed right now, his memory would be rewound to that day.
Please, don't let that happen.
Prayed 2B. She wanted to avoid that at all costs. She never wanted to go through that again. And that's all for today. If you enjoyed this video, I recommend you check out the book, NieR Automata Long Story Short, or the original game, NieR Automata. I'm Sami, by the way. I'm the voice of the narrator along with the voice of 2B. I had a lot of fun working on this, so I hope you guys enjoyed it.
I'm Fallen. I'm the voice of Pod 042.
I'm xSourSweets or Heat3, whichever you prefer, and I'm the voice for 6O.
Thank you for listening and watching.